Hey, good afternoon. Hello there, everybody at City of McAllen employee wellness people that are our participants in the program, and also for anybody who happens to be watching this. We're starting a conversation. We are going to get some messages in here in a few minutes. Hopefully that's not too distracting. I won't be able to answer every message, but maybe I can read it and then relate it to the audience, people that are watching here. So I can't actually answer any questions right now. See, the iPad that we're using, or what we're using right now, doesn't allow me to turn it around and then answer typing questions. So if you just want to post a question or a comment, you can post it to the phone number that's on my business card that I pass out to employees when I meet them for the first time. Also, you could look me up on Facebook under Rafael Aristeo Cudil, LMT. The LMT stands for Licensed Massage Therapist. And you can post any questions you want to about this show, this program, what's going on right now, and I'll do my best to answer it live if I can. Now, speaking of why this is a live class, it's just something to set it apart from the recorded classes that we do, or that we do when we go out to the different departments. So it's just something to start a conversation about different ideas in wellness. And one of those ideas is recovery. How do you take care of yourself if you're eating right, if you're working out, and then or doing some other type of exercise regimen? Then how do you rehabilitate, or how do you work on the muscle fibers? How do you work on what stresses or strains you did internally during your workout? And one of the things that came my way several years ago were essential oils. While I was in massage therapy school, my instructor, Dinah Russ, she had said we're going to do a chapter on essential oils. And here I go rolling my eyes like, okay, I already know what oil I'm going to use for my massages. I don't need any extra oils, or I didn't really feel like I needed that extra particular bit of information. So it seemed like something that I'd heard before in the past, but I didn't really consider exactly what essential oils were, because I had never actually seen them. And that's a problem that most of us don't actually get a chance to experience essential oils firsthand before we make a judgment about what they are. And so I would recommend, if you know somebody, a local expert in essential oils that you can get into contact with and you can actually have an experience with it, you'll learn a couple of things about essential oils just from the experience of having tried them out. So the first thing I noticed about essential oils when one was actually given to me was that number one, the smell. So when you open up an essential oil, the first thing that's going to hit you about an essential oil is how it smells. It's aromatic. So you're going to breathe it in, and essential oils affect us in a way that is very profound. And what we're finding out is that we have a limbic system. We have the amygdala, right? The heart of the limbic system. And when we breathe something in, we actually don't even have time to process or think about what it is that we just breathed in. Smells are so deeply rooted into our subconscious that a lot of times when we smell something, it affects our emotions before we even have a chance to process it. And that's why essential oils can be great for different types of therapy, because it allows the oil to speak directly to a process. It's going to set up a process. So if every time you get massage therapy, you have a essential oil that you use all the time, then you find yourself in a stressful situation outside of that therapy session. If you happen to have the essential oil close by and you open up the bottle and you just breathe that in, you'll go through all the metabolic processes that you usually do whenever you are normally experiencing that essential oil. So you can pick out several fragrances or different oils to fit the moods that you're trying to create for yourself, and make sure that you have a strong connection with that oil and with that event or that feeling that you're trying to create a connection to. Most of the things that we have feelings or connections to with certain smells just are by happenstance. We don't actually plan it. But the neat thing with essential oils is you can actually dial up or dial down a certain mood that you're looking to to get. So again, my first experience with essential oils had me asking questions like, well, if essential oils are so great, how come we don't see them in stores? How come we don't see them like advertised on TV? Why isn't everybody already using them? If essential oils are so great, how come there's no essential oil vending machine that you just go and put a couple of quarters in and you get essential oils out for your need? What makes an essential oil essential to begin with? Well, the first trouble that we have with the word essential oils is the naming of them. When we say essential, we don't mean that it's required for you to live. What we mean is that it is the essence of the plant or the tree or the shrub or the herb that it was derived from. In other words, it is a distilled and concentrated version of the things that make that plant as powerful as it is. So that's where the word essential comes from. So next time you see the word essential, think about the word essence and not necessarily that you particularly need that oil to live. Second, the word oil. My problem with the word oil was I don't like things that are particularly greasy, and I don't like things that are oily to be on my skin. But in this case, I don't know if the camera can catch it, but we're going to take just one little twist of essential oil, and we'll just put it on the back of the hand here, and it's gone. So an essential oil is actually a volatile substance. Volatile meaning that as soon as it hits the air, it begins to disperse. All the molecules are so excitable and so purified that they will just disperse either out into the atmosphere or directly into the skin. It's actually been shown that within about 20 minutes, if I put an essential oil on my skin, within 20 minutes, if I look at any one of my other cells, from a cell on my shoulder to a cell on my toe, if I was to look inside of that cell, we will find constituents of the essential oil that I put here on my hand. Because it travels, it diffuses through the entire system. And that's what makes essential oils such a great therapy for people who cannot take oral medications. Even for pets, even for family pets, they don't like to take pills. If there is an essential oil that you can use to heal up a cut, a bruise, or a scrape, or some kind of skin condition, you can use these on household pets because you don't have to try to hide it in a piece of cheese and get them to eat it. It's something that is pervasive, and you can use it as a therapy over time. So again, why don't more people use essential oils? Well, we have some issues with our modern culture. For the most part, you need to think about marketing and the distribution of products. In modern times, companies put out single-purpose products to fit it's a solution to a specific problem. So this could be like really good news for somebody who makes, let's say, a vapor rub. If you have congestion and you have a vapor rub that's mostly petroleum-based oil, and it has just a couple of drops of eucalyptus in it, and I was to take a dollop of that and rub it on the chest, and then when a few minutes I can breathe, well, I say, okay, now I can breathe. Let me look at the label of this product. It says on here that it's to increase my respiration, my ability to breathe. And it did exactly what it says, so I'm happy with it. So most of the time that you're using products, those products were created to solve a specific problem or to treat a specific condition. Essential oils are broad-based use. You can use them on several different things, and as you make your collection of essential oils, as you buy them, you will find different uses for them. So a lot of times the people who make essential oils, they won't put down on the bottle what the essential oil is used for, because it's up to the consumer to figure out how they're going to use those oils in what different scenarios. Now, this is where I like to warn people who plan on trying out essential oils. They are very strong. They can burn, they can irritate the skin, and because as consumers of these other types of weaker products, we're not used to something being this strong, a lot of times we'll overuse in our first experience with it, or we won't be very careful with it because we don't know how much they can irritate us. So for example, at no time after using this peppermint oil would I want to touch my eyes or any other thin sensitive skin on my body, because that would actually cause a burning sensation. So you want to be careful with essential oils, and after using them you want to get in the habit of washing your hands off, not because the oils are dirty, but because they're very powerful, and they even though you don't feel them on the skin anymore with an oily feeling, they are in fact right there on the surface of the skin, and they will remain there for a while. So what you can do with one drop of oil compared to a handful of commercial or what we know as more common everyday household products is what makes essential oils so difficult to market and so difficult to sell, because that means that a very small bottle of essential oil will be expensive compared to several other smaller, more widely available products. So it's difficult to sell essential oils to people who don't know how to use them. And again, in our modern culture, I don't think anybody's ever had this experience before, where you go into a I don't want to say any brand names, but if you go into a super store or shopping supermarket center and you're looking at a wall of different products, I find it's very rare these days for somebody to walk up to you and say, do you have any question about these products that you're about to buy? Because we're not in the culture of service as far as educating people on what they're going to buy before they buy it. And I think that's why these classes can help you out as much as they do. They're just going to solve a gap between the solutions that you would use for the solutions that you would use for how you used to live your life, versus letting you know about what other solutions are available in order to take care of the problems as they continue to arise. So here, speaking of which, let's talk about lifestyle. And we borrowed this one from an essential oil company. If they asked me to give them a shout out, we might have them back here at the city of McAllen one more time. I'm not sure if you can see it up here. We have a continuum here of things that people can do in order to have a healthy lifestyle. And at the bottom was eat right. So in no way am I telling you that if you take essential oils, it's the only thing that you have to do. You just have to do that one thing and everything will be okay. No, eating right is at the bottom, and it's a solid base. You do have to exercise. You do have to rest and manage stress. You also have to reduce your toxic load. That's get rid of toxicity in products that you're already buying. Then at the upper echelon, or the top of the pyramid, you have informed self-care and proactive medical care. So where do essential oils fit on that continuum, or on that pyramid? They fit in the rest and stress management, toxic load reduction level. So there are a lot of other things you have to do, and by no way are we saying that essential oils are a cure-all or a complete problem solver for all of your issues. It's just something that you can add in order to make something that you're already doing just that much more effective. And so what are some ways that you can use essential oils? Well, you can use them for inhalation, so that you can breathe them in. There's no petrochemicals in them. So a lot of times when people talk about not inhaling things like gasoline or spray paint or those types of inhalants, those cause brain damage. So there's a lot of things out there that are commercial products that you don't want to breathe in. On the flip side of it, essential oils, if you get a few doses a day of different essential oils, like I said, they will help you dial up your mood. They will help you to de-stress, manage stress. They'll help give you a feeling of confidence, a feeling of focus, all kinds of feelings that you can learn to dial in and manage using essential oils. And traditionally, we had used different types of drugs, and I use that in the very broad sense. We're talking about caffeine, alcohol, nicotine. So all these different addictions that people sometimes develop to these different products. Even processed sugar, right, is now being considered a drug. These are you're not going to ingest them, so you can get a experience in the moment, and that experience might be all that you need in order to get back into the focus of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, versus drinking an entire cup of coffee or smoking an entire cigarette. These things are small ways to give you a handle on your stress or on your ability to focus or on the feeling that you're looking to achieve. So you can use it for aromatherapy, you can use it for inhalation, bathing, massages. You can create your own ointments, you can create your own compresses. And if your essential oil that you happen to purchase, on the back of it, if it says supplemental facts like calories, sugars, carbohydrates, then that means that it was approved by the FDA for internal use. So not all essential oils are made for internal use, and not all companies who make essential oils want you to ingest their product. So make sure that you know the original packaging that the essential oil came from, if it says it's for internal use or not. So that is something I want everybody to really consider before they take somebody's advice about actually ingesting an essential oil. So you can't say that peppermint oil is good to ingest. You cannot say that, because some peppermint oils are made by certain companies at certain standards with certain purities and certain efficacies. So make sure that you know or have read what the labels say to do with that product, or what its limits are. Again, that's because some of these products, or all essential oils, are very powerful. For example, if you have a bottle of rose oil, pure concentrated rose oil, that's about 5,000 pounds of rose petals to go into just one bottle, and that's a lot of power. Also, before we close up, or before I answer any of these questions, and I also have to make one more announcement before I close up. I want you to know that essential oils have been used for thousands of years, and we have the evidence for that. I mean, in the tomb of King Tut, we've got 1320 BC, a 3,000-year-old mummy, unwrapped, retained a lot of the fragrances of myrrh, cedar wood in the bandages. We have a lot of references, some of them from ancient texts that tell us about different oils that were given as gifts at important, significant occasions. So oils are referenced all over the place, but not a lot of people have access to them, again, because they are expensive. Now, that might be a prohibitive barrier for some people who don't necessarily want to spend that much money. If you know somebody who sells essential oils, you might ask them to buy a quarter of the bottle, or you might actually ask for a small sample. If they give you a small sample, then you can research different ways to use it, and then you can calculate what you're going to use that essential oil for up against other products that you might have used in the past. For example, if we go back to that vapor rub that we used on our chest, if I buy a container full of vapor rub and I calculate that I can maybe use that about 150 times, but then I buy one bottle here and I use it every time I feel congested, but I don't have to use as much, plus I know there's no petrochemicals in it, then I can make a more informed decision about how good that product is for me and about how much the real cost of it is. So speaking of which, you say, how much then should I expect to pay for an essential oil product? Remember we said about those 5,000 petals or 5,000 roses that go into that one bottle. Well, there you go. That means that if you're going to buy a bottle of, let's say, pure frankincense oil, that would be about $50 to $100 for one bottle. Again, it might seem expensive, but essential oils do last a very long time. as long as you take good care of them. Like, for example, you want to keep them in dark containers, right? You want to keep them out of extreme heat. And other than that, they should be good for a long time as far as shelf life goes. Okay, a couple of things I did want to say before I close up. Be on the lookout, if you don't mind, for this poster. We put a 2 in every box of the different supervisors that are out there to let you know that yes, Cavasso Sports Institute group training will continue. It's still going to go on, and we are really having a great time out there. So one more time, shout out to Jaime Cavazos for helping us to make that happen, and really everybody that's involved, from city commission all the way down the line to even my boss, to make that group training experience possible. It's been really great, and people that haven't tried it yet, or employees that haven't tried it yet, are more than welcome to go join us. We'll have the sign-ins there, and at the sign-in or the sign-in and sign up, once you sign your waivers, you can get started for 2 months for free at CSI at 5 a.m. on Tuesday or Thursday, and on Saturday, tomorrow, from 7 to 9 a.m. So if you want to get your first workout there before you go do the Halloween run at Westside Park and City of McAllen Parks, that would be a great first workout of the day to kind of get you started. I do want to say that in addition to CSI and the group training, we now have 3 new training opportunities available. So we have training opportunities at RGV 24 Fitness. We have a training opportunity at Ranger CrossFit, and another one going on with Mike Johnson at VPR Training Gym. So all three of these gyms have agreed to track employee sign-ins at their gym, so that the employees who do go to those gyms can get credit to their employee wellness account. And if you haven't found out what the employee wellness account is and you have questions about it, please just contact me through email. I'll be more than glad to go over the entire wellness program, because we want to get this to as many city employees as possible. We want to help out as many people as we can, and we really just want to improve the health and the wellness of everybody that's connected to the City of McAllen, whether they work here, whether they're private citizens, or even people who visit. So with that in mind, thank you very much for listening into this. We want to hear all your comments and questions, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. And if you happen to have been watching this and you want to get it for credit, just send me an email and I'll send you a 4-question quiz and get you some credit to your employee wellness account. Again, thank you very much and have a good afternoon.